So the way that it works, generally this whole process, they take blood and they test it for a lot of stuff, and they have to test your blood at specific points in your cycle to see where you're what if I was super vitamin D deficient or something. Well, I guess we ruled all that out, and that's when we started moving into ultrasounds and stuff like that. And so your baseline, they take blood. Like I said, they do a vaginal ultrasound. They check the lining of your uterine wall to make sure that it's the appropriate thickness or thinness. And then you go back again when you're close to ovulation, and I guess they make sure that there's actually like something up there ready to drop. And you take Clomid. And I actually had to look this up because I was being super emotional. I'm sorry, I didn't have these on earlier. I was being super emotional, like way more than normal. And I actually had to look it up, and they call it the Clomid crazies. And that's a real thing. And Avidril too. I didn't look that up either. Like I said, I guess I'm still kind of in denial about certain things. I don't want to do all this research because you're still hopeful that this will work on its own. You know what I mean? Because like I've looked up things, and you see like the acronyms that people have, you know, that my husband are like TTC, and we had to look it up, like trying to conceive, you know, and all these different, like the T or the 2WW for the 2-week wait after you do the IUI, because you're waiting those next 2 weeks to find out if it worked and you're pregnant, or you start your period and it didn't. So I didn't actually know what Avidril was. I looked it up the day I was supposed to get it, and or the night before I was supposed to get it, and I was like, oh, that's a needle. What? I don't want to do that. I don't necessarily have a fear of needles. It's not that. Like, you can take blood from me and I'm okay. But when you inject something into another part of my body, that freaks me out a little bit. So if you can imagine, I'm a 31-year-old grown woman trying to have a baby, and my husband is chasing me around my house with a needle, and I would like to thank all of my neighbors who I'm sure saw that or witnessed that, because our windows were wide open and our lights were on, that you just saw my husband chase me around and nobody called the police. So thanks for that. But he gave me the shot in my stomach, and I am not lying when I tell you that really it did not hurt. I didn't even know that he gave me an injection. I actually thought he was lying. Like that he was like, this isn't even worth it, and I'm just gonna pretend like I gave it to her. So you do that, and that is like, that's a trigger shot. Like, it's supposed to be like super ovulation, and then you're supposed to have sex, and then you go in 2 days later, like a day and a half later, and then they your husband gives them a sample in office, and then they take it and they get like the good sperm, and then they do the IUI. I want to talk about things that people say when you're trying to have a baby. And again, like I said, I'm not a PC person. I see this on Facebook all the time, like 10 things not to say to somebody, you know, if they're going through depression or they're trying to conceive or whatever. I don't know, because what that does is guarantee you that people aren't going to say anything to you at all, because they're too scared that everything they're saying is the wrong thing. Most of the things that people say out of support are supportive things, because what do you say? What else is there to say? Like, I'm really sorry this is happening to you. I'm sure that it's going to happen. You both really deserve this. There are some of my favorites that I've gotten through this time where they're like, oh, you know, like, trying's the fun part. That's fun for a while. And for a very short while, because I would say recently, it was during our 2-week wait, where I had sex with my husband spontaneously. It is not romantic to have scheduled sex with your husband. And for over a year, our sex has been scheduled. This is my ovulation time. Even if he doesn't feel like it, if I don't feel like it, you just gotta make this happen because we really, really, really want to have that baby. And this is the time to do it. So it's very unromantic. And for a prolonged period of time, that becomes your routine. That you're just having sex with each other because you have to. And that's not how I want to view sex with my husband. That's not how I want to view sex, like, ever. So yeah, it's fun for a little bit. And then it's not. It'll happen when it's meant to happen. I know. I believe that. And it's also possible that it's not meant to happen too. Really? Are you sure you even want kids? I don't want to have kids. I'm happy for you. I do. To be fair, this actually came from my pregnant sister. And she was in her second trimester. Is she in her second trimester? Right at the end of first into her second trimester, and she was a very difficult person to love during this time period. And she was like, it's not my fault that your ovaries have resting bitch face. Got that one. What are some of my other favorite? Oh, you're not taking your internal body temperature? Oh, then you must not be that serious yet. Oh, just relax. That's my favorite. Oh, just relax. Just relax. How relaxed do you think I am right now? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I know what I just said about like scheduled sex with your husband, but before that, like, I enjoy having sexual relations with my husband a lot. I'm about as relaxed as I can possibly be. In fact, like, you know, we even drink a lot, like before, not a lot, but we drink before sex sometimes, you know, because it gets you just a little bit looser and ready to go. So I really enjoy it and I'm really relaxed. Anytime somebody says like, oh, you just need to relax, don't think about it. It is impossible not to think about it. It's impossible. It's impossible. The supportive things that people say that are generic things to say, because that's what everybody says. That's what anybody would say. That's what I would say. Because there's nothing else to say. Because it's not like, oh, you don't like your job? Change careers. You don't like the wall color in your house? Paint it. I can't just make my internal plumbing work. I can't do it. So there's that. Like I said, I've had two sisters who've been pregnant, had her babies, and then one who is pregnant right now, soon to have her baby boy. And I planned both of those showers where I sucked it up and I did my job because I'm supposed to, because that's what you're supposed to do. I've been to another baby shower. I will be going to another baby shower next month. Literally, it's all over Facebook, and this is what I've seen from infertile couples, that it's everywhere. That everyone in the world is getting pregnant except you, and it really, really does feel that way. It really does. And as people, we try to find reasons for things, reasons why this doesn't work. I helped my oldest sister through her pregnancy. I went maternity clothes shopping and helped make her baby registry and went furniture shopping with her and was there for her, you know, because I'm supposed to, and I would do that anyway because I love her. But it hurts so much because you just want it to be you. I want it to be me. I want to be shopping for my own clothes. I want to be shopping for baby furniture. I want to be painting the room. And you walk a line between being supportive and happy for people, because I have reacted poorly to finding out people are pregnant in ways that I'm not proud of. I have reacted very poorly because it hurts. Because, oh, you got pregnant not on purpose. I am like figuring out a star chart. And is there a solar eclipse that's happening the same day as a lunar eclipse? I mean, just to try to make this happen, and you had a baby not on purpose. And like I said, this is not meant to hurt anybody or make them feel bad. It's just the way that I feel. And if you feel the way that I feel, or if you've ever felt the way that I felt, if you've experienced that bitterness and that jealousy, that it's okay. It's okay that you're not by yourself. And if I am by myself, if I'm the only person who has felt these things, well, I'm still not sorry. Because it's the way that I feel, and I don't want to feel this way. And that's something that I've told my husband when he was like, babe, you can't react this way. And I'm like, I don't want to feel the way that I feel. I don't want to feel angry and bitter and jealous. And it starts to consume your life, where that's all you think about. It's all you think about. You can't forget it. And you're like, at what point in my cycle am I, okay, I have to wait a little bit longer, and we're going to do this all over again. Everything that I just did last month, I have to do it all over again. And it still couldn't work. And then I'd have to do it 4 more times after that. And I don't even know if my body is capable of carrying a baby. I could get pregnant and I could lose it. And I will say this. I've seen couples who have become pregnant and lost their baby, and I would not trade places with you. That I would much rather be sitting here in this shitty position than in that even shittier position. I would say when my oldest sister had her baby shower, was at the end of April, our other pregnant sister came. And I have 4 sisters, actually. So 2 are pregnant. 1 is the mother of 4 boys. And there's my baby sister. She doesn't have kids either, but that's not where she is in her life. And they were in town. And my little sister was working. My baby sister was working. So it was the other 3 of them and me. So 4 of us. And there were 2 pregnant sisters together. And then my other sister, who's a mom. And she put her hands on their stomach, and they asked me to take a picture, because it was like 3 moms. And I know that they didn't do that to hurt me. And I don't even think it was insensitive, because you can't do that. But it hurt so much. And I cried the whole way home. The day after, I'm so sorry. The day after my sister had her twins, I cried all day the next day. All day. In fact, I don't remember the last time I cried like that. Ever. It's like you're grieving a loss you've never had. And honestly, and there's nothing that anybody can say or do, because it is what it is. And at the end of the day, you just sit there and you're just like, it's just not fair. It isn't fair. And I know that life isn't fair. But I'm like, I planned this. I did everything right. You know, we waited until we were married. We waited until we were ready to start our family, you know. I got through school. I was starting my career. My husband has a good career. Like, we don't have a lot of money. Like, we're in that like lower middle class place, you know, where you have enough to pay your bills and you have a little extra, but there's always something, you know what I mean? You can always use a little more money. But I was like, I did everything right. And then you start to think, you know, we're people, and you try to find a reason for this. You know, there's a reason, a deeper reason why this isn't working. And I thought maybe it was because I was supposed to help my sister get through her pregnancy. Is it Is it all those years I was on birth control? Is it all those times that I took Plan B? Because if I'm being honest, I was like super paranoid if we like weren't careful, and I took Plan B a lot. Like, did that mess up my body and now I can't do this? Am I being punished for all of those shitty, horrible things that I've done, things that people in this world still don't even know about, just because you're so ashamed that you did or you said those really awful things, and this is that cosmic justice for that? And people are like, that's not the way that works. And if you said those things to me, I would say that's ridiculous. But it's how it feels. And I don't know. Because if there really is a reason for everything, maybe the reason is because you don't deserve to be a mother. You don't deserve this. And honestly, if it's not going to work, I wish I could just know right now. That I just knew that they were just like, you know what? Like, you're going through menopause and this just isn't going to work for you. And that's the other thing. Along the things that people say, that those supportive things that people say, and they're like, you know, there is always adoption. Adoption is a totally separate process that is also emotionally and spiritually and physically and financially draining. Because you would think a bunch of unwanted children who need good parents, you could just go get them, obviously with like background checks and stuff, but it's not. It's a business. Unwanted children are a business. And I don't know if we could afford that either. And I am not knocking adoption in any way. That is not what I mean. My father was adopted, and I loved that family. Most of them they've since passed, and I love my family. They are my family. And my parents have separated, they've remarried, and I have family from everywhere. And most of my family isn't even blood related to me. And we've actually talked about adopting, you know, that we would want to have a child, one that we made, and then go adopt a child. It's like you birth a child and then a child from your heart. Because adoption's near and dear to me for all of those reasons. And also I was like, we're perfect candidates for that. I was like, I'm super white and my husband is biracial, white and black. I was like, so even if we adopt a baby of a different race, I was like, even we don't look the same. If you feel like you're put out, you know, that you don't look like mommy and daddy, we don't look the same. And almost all of my family isn't blood related to me anyway, because that's not what a family is. But those are two very, very separate things. That it's not just easy to go adopt a child, and it doesn't diminish the loss that you feel from not being able to have your own. I have thought some really horrible things, like couples who have a child and they haven't been able to have a second child. And I don't know, it sounds so shitty, but I'm like, God, at least you have one. I don't have any. And I've said horrible things like, Paris, if you ever see this, I saw you in the grocery store and you were talking about your toddler son just like anybody would ever, just like if I had kids, how I would talk about them. How's your baby? Bad. And what did I say? I'll take him. That was a horrible thing for me to say, and I'm sorry. But it's just in that moment, you just get caught sometimes. You're just consumed by that anger, by that jealousy. But I'm sorry that I said that. I should never have said that to you. And someday, and if I do have a baby, I will say those same things. I know that I will, because you're a human being, because you're a parent. I don't have kids, but I've babysat kids, and I know that they can be bad, you know? And they can try your patience. So I would say those exact same things. That when I get pregnant, I'm going to be elated, but I'm going to be terrified because I'm, bringing a human being into the world that I have to raise, that our lives, they're never going to be the same. That we're not going to be Nick and Jess as a couple. That now we're parents. We're somebody's mother and father. And I'm going to be terrified. And I will bitch about my pregnancy symptoms. I'm going to do all of those things in the event that I ever become pregnant. I don't know. It's finding the strength to get up and keep doing this. And I'm only really in the beginning, I guess. That I had one IUI treatment. Whew. But that's why there's a limit for me, and I know that there will be. You still have hope, though. I still have hope, and you have to, because if you didn't, then you would just stop and you wouldn't be doing this at all. And I tell myself that it will make me better overall as a person, that I will gain something from this experience. But it's a shitty, long road that, like I said before, I have never felt so alone in any process. And I know that my husband's there, but and I hurt his feelings when I said it. And it's not what I mean, but it's just, you see moms being moms, and it might not ever be me. But you still gotta have hope, though. And I do. And so we're gonna try again. Tomorrow we're gonna start all over again. And I'm gonna suck it up, and I'm gonna do it. And we'll see what happens. If you find this and you watch it, I hope that if you feel or have felt the way that I have and do, that you know that you're not alone. You are not alone. That I understand. And you are very brave. And things are going to work out the way that they're supposed to work out. I believe that. And if it works out in the way that I don't want it to go, then I just have to accept that. And then you just start looking at your plan B. So good luck. You're going to do great.